Good morning, and welcome everyone. Welcome to the third annual Heal Her Summit. Yes, listen, I am so excited to be here today, and I pray that you all are as well because you are about to be blessed. Now, mind you, we are just a few minutes late, had some technical difficulties, but your girl had to like work it out and still bring you this rich information, this energy, and everything that myself and my amazing co hosts are about to bring you over this next couple of hours. Actually, you know what? You won't even realize what time it is because you will be so pleased and so blessed with what we're going to share. It is the last day of Women's Health Week, and the Heal Her Summit was going to be sharing information, resources, motivation, and just giving you steps and things of intention to help you catapult yourself onto a journey of wellness or give you what you need to maintain and stay on a journey of healing, hope, and wellness. So let me just unspotlight myself. And so you guys can see all of the amazing women that are here and my beautiful co host. I got to spotlight her real quick because she brings the energy and she's hailing all the way from Houston, Texas today, not even in her home state. Hey, Mahisa.
Hey everybody! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. First of all, the collab, okay, on fire. Feel her voice. When I tell you, I cannot wait to hear what these ladies are about to bring to the virtual stage. Okay, I don't know if everybody else ready, but I know I am. I'm up. We an hour behind, so I'm saying right now I'm working at 8:16 a.m.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's
And you
go.
are, right? You are working like you and one of our other speakers, Sheila, are an hour behind. You're so committed to this and committed to what you're doing and committed to the cause. You got up even earlier to be here, be beautiful, and be present.
Yes, and it's gonna be worth every bit of it. So, like, if you are viewing, don't worry about the time. Just bring your paper and your pen and get ready to get some nuggets because they are about to blaze the stage. Shout out to to Sheila, who's in Houston too. Girl, I cannot wait to meet up with you. But to the amazing host, oh my gosh, Delana, I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. This is just the beginning.
Absolutely. Y'all heard that. And she already look getting ahead because I wanted to make sure y'all know that. Look, you see us, you see the energy that we bring, and you see these amazing women that we have gathered here with us on a Saturday morning. This is only the beginning of the Heal Her because Heal Her is the top, but it's the Mahisa with her voice, her purpose, right? So you see how that all just came together. I made a phone call and I said, "You doing a heal? You what? Her voice, her purpose, that needs to be part of the Heal Her. Come on through." So, the very first person that you all are going to hear from is Rochelle McAllister. I'm going to bring her to the spotlight, into the stage. We're all boss ladies. We're all kind of like making moves and doing things on a busy Saturday morning. She took the time out on her way to her amazing nonprofit for their meeting today of single parents. And she said, "You know what? I have some amazing things that I want to share on the Heal Her Summit. So I'm going to make time and come on and make sure I share." So I'm going to bring her spotlighted to the screen, Rochelle McAllister, and I want you to share with the people. Unmute your mic because it's now your time to share so that we can heal her in this time.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Heal Her Summit. I am super excited to be here. Delana, you know I love you and thank God for everything that you do when it concerns wellness. And so this Heal Her Summit is something that we can truly glean from. So do you want me to start right now about what I would like to share?
Absolutely, yes, and you are looking good. That background with you and look in the car, it's just all flowing together and being intentional. Absolutely. Don't wait not another second. Absolutely. I want you to
Awesome.
share.
Awesome. So my name is Rochelle McAllister, and I am the founder of Single Parent Achievers. I am also, which is an organization that's dedicated to improving single parents' quality of life. And on today, I am here getting ready to celebrate the mothers that are a part of this program. So I'm super excited about that. So everything that we do is intentional. But what I want to talk to you about today is, hear me when I say it, who doesn't have a life where there has been bitter, but we are making our way to better? So bitter but better is what I'm going to talk about. So there's many things that have happened in my life to get me where it is that I am today, and I use three things to help me along this journey. And I read a book a long time ago by Paula White where it stated that you cannot conquer what you are not willing to confront. So, guys, guess what? I had to learn how to identify what the rooted issues were in my life that was trying to hinder me and place me in bondage. So, for you guys that are on the call, I have some things that happened to me. So I had to identify those things, and I'll say a few, and then you could think of some of the things that may have happened to you. But it's very important for us to identify what it is that is trying to hinder us and place us in a place of bondage. And so whether it be molestation, whether it's the loss of a mom and her dad, that's horrible, or not even having enough love from your mother or your father. There's so many different things, but you can fill that in if you write that question down, like, um do you identify what it is that's trying to keep you in bondage? Write that down and try to figure out if you could put down a few things to identify what those things are, because those things are really trying to hold you in bondage. And then for me in my life, and a few of those things I went through, maybe all of them, but let's not talk about what I went through, because I just want to give you the tips as how I made it to the other side of through. I had to confront those things that were trying to hinder me and place me in bondage. And it didn't happen overnight. None of us go through certain things in life and it happens overnight. So therefore there is a process in confronting the things that are trying to keep us and hold us in bondage. For me, I went to counseling. I did all kinds of things in order to do the work so that I could heal and be intentional about my life so that I can raise my amazing children. I have four, and then I'm married now and have a blended family of 9. But at the end of the day, I have to be very intentional about what it is that I um, had to be very intentional. It didn't happen overnight, so I had to do the work so that I could heal. And so I think that it's so very important. This is a good nugget for everyone, that no matter what it is that we go through so that we can heal, we have to stay connected and not isolate. Get around some amazing people. I have Delana, I have Tawana, I have all of these amazing women that are on the call. But then who's your power circle of influence that you have in your life? And I had to really begin to access that so that I could become the woman that I am today. And then, guys, let's talk about conquering. I believe that I was able to conquer all of this through Christ. Through Christ Jesus, I was able to make it to the other side of through a lot stronger. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so very thankful for the woman that I am today. But I do know that the experiences that I experienced gave me the lessons that I'm able to teach today. Even as I go into this meeting now to teach the single parents and teach them about parenting, health and wellness, and finances. So, for me, yes, I lost my mom. You know what? But I keep her legacy alive every day. I keep her legacy alive. Yes, I became divorced and I had to raise 4 children, but these are things that I was able to conquer. I now have a 35-year-old, 28-year-old, 23, and a 22. Hallelujah. And then I became the founder of this amazing organization. So that there is something that I was able to conquer through Christ Jesus. And then after becoming a divorced woman to having to raise 4 children single-handedly in the natural, But do you guys know that God created a platform for the pain that I encountered? God created a platform out of that. I'm not saying that he will do that for you. That's just what he did for me. He created a platform through my pain. And so guess what? Yes, I was divorced, but I am married to the love of my life now. And again, as I stated earlier, we have a blended family of 9 children. And also something else that I was able to conquer is I am truly emotionally present, guys. Y'all know that when we go through things and we're hurting, we're ready to fight the world. But at the end of the day, I'm now emotionally present. I am a teacher. I am a speaker. I am someone that I'm just someone that have finally surrendered and said yes to the Lord. And guess what? In my yes, I am super excited about those that he have connected to me because of my yes. So who's connected to your yes? So I'll go back to bitter but better, because I am no longer bitter. I am better. And I had to identify, confront, and conquer. So I hope that helped you guys. I hope that you can take some of those nuggets and carry them on with you as you go through this Heal Her Summit. And I just want to thank you to all of the other panelists that are on, because I'm telling you, you guys are amazing. And one more thing, I want you guys to know that the place that's so uncomfortable for you to visit, why don't you just visit that place, because your victory may be on the other side, or it is on the other side. So I thank you guys so much. If you are bitter, let's work on being better. Get connected to people that can help you be better. So I love each and every last one of you guys. And I'm done. Thank you, Delana, for this opportunity to share.
You are so welcome. I heard you say, I'm done. Mahisa, I know, look, Mahisa, I was over there moderating the comments, right? Since we ended up over here on a different platform to do this. So like my role had to switch in the middle. You know how we do. It switched, but it's all good. Mahisa over there writing down stuff. So I already know she got some spit it out, come up with the feedback. Go ahead, Mahisa.
First of all, look, Rochelle don't even know I already put together a collab for her with another young lady who's on one of my books, who's all the way in New York, who started the Single Mother Club. So I'm already writing collab, gotta connect. But,
yes.
She was just saying, no matter what we go through, that we gotta stay connected and not isolate. And I just thought that was so crucial, because the first thing we do as women is we run and we isolate. I don't want to be bothered. I don't have time. I'm not doing this. Don't come around me. Don't say nothing. And the reality is, all we do is put ourselves into this shell, into this whole thing that I think I'm healing by doing it by myself. And the reality is, you said it. Whose power source are you? Where's your power source? You ladies are my power source. We need a power source to be able to stay connected. And of course, we know the ultimate, which is God, staying connected to the vine, to the power source. And if we do, we are so much better together. Heal her today. Are you kidding me?
Heal her. Yes.
Okay.
Come through. Yes. Heal her so that she can be powerful in the world, powerful in the universe, powerful to the people that she is purposed to impact, powerful to the cause that she is purposed to impact. Of course, first starting within her home, within her family, then out into the world and into the universe. So heal her in an intentional way. Rochelle, bitter but better. I love it. Thank you so much for opening us up with that, bitter but better. Because let me tell you, I know that we all can relate to some scenario, some walk, some instance in our life where, listen, we had to come through that, bitter but better, bitter but better. I love it. Yes. All right. So next up, we have none other than, I call her my TT, my T-Lo, with who she does quite a lot. Tea, because of the tea that she brings, that she makes, that she provides. So the TLC, that's all part of it. And I'm gonna allow her just to kind of deposit all of that into your being, into your hearing, into your learning, into your feeling, into just everything that we are purposed here for this morning, on this Saturday morning. None other than Tawan Lowe is going to grace the virtual stage next. So Tawan, without further delay, come on through, drop some little tea bags on the way, and make your way to the virtual stage. Okay.
All righty. I first want to say thank you to Delana. I want to thank you for always thinking about me and considering me and letting me be a part of what I think is a awesome summit, Heal Her. And this is an awesome way to really end Women's Health Week with this summit. I want to thank your co-host. She doing a good job. She all the way in Houston. I'm mad at her because she gonna hook up with our girl Sheila, and I'm just mad at her about that right now. So we ain't even gonna talk about that. But for those who don't know me, let me give you just a brief introduction of who I am. My name is Tawan Lowe. I am the founder of a movement called Women Walking in Their Own Shoes, where women should be walking in their purpose, passion, and their power. I am also the CEO of TLC Consultancy, where I am coaching individuals to become their best selves and create their best lives, and being a consultant to organizations, helping them to achieve their goals. Here today, I just want to give you a little TLC. If you don't know me, I believe everybody needs a little TLC. Yes, tender love and care, but today I'm going to be spilling some tea on some transformational lifestyle content that's going to help her heal her. So to get started, and this, we're talking about Women Health Week, but this is also, I do believe, Mental Health Awareness Month. So this is a good time to infuse all those things together. And I want to share a story with you all about a woman who gave away her power. And in giving away her power, she fractured her mental wellness. And in fracturing her mental wellness, it dictated how she showed up and who she was. So this was a woman who was in her 40s, who was hiding behind herself. She was scared of herself. She was scared of her own power. She didn't even realize that she had any power because she had given it away very early in her life. She happened to go to someone's birthday party, one of her friends, and it was not the normal type of birthday party. It was one of those parties where they collected the women together. They were sitting around. They were talking about their goals and their aspirations. And as this woman sat amongst these women, and she was the oldest, she was 40 at the time, and the other women were like about 35, 33. And she was listening to them talk about their goals and aspirations and how they wanted to have a husband and 2.5 kids and a dog and a picket fence and a wife. She listened to all of those women. And when it came time for her to speak, she realized that she had no existence. She was just wandering in life with no goals, no aspiration, and no vision for her life. She had an aha moment at that time. And in that aha moment, she revealed her truth for the first time to anybody. She shared with the women that she was celebrating with that when she was in the 7th grade, she was told that she would never be nothing more than a cafeteria worker. Now, let me stop and pause here. There is nothing wrong with the cafeteria worker at all. An honest living is an honest living. However, she grew up in an age where they were saying you can be all you can be. You can be the astronaut, the next president. You can be whoever you want. And she took an aptitude test, and it said she would never be anything more than a cafeteria worker. And she believed the story. She believed it because she took the test. It was an assessment about her abilities. Her teacher was giving her the findings, so it had to be true. And she carried that weight with her all of her adult life up until she had that aha moment at the age of 40. So I'm just going to pause right there and say to all the parents, you need to check with your children to see what people are feeding into their spirits. What are they feeding into their minds, and what are they telling them? Because the things that they tell them will shape who they show up and how they be if there is no counteraction to what is being fed to them. So, like I said, this 40-year-old woman had carried those words with her all of her life. Every time she She had a good upbringing. Her parents had her in junior achievement. She was the president of her usher board in the church. She knew how to start businesses, but they never really prospered in the way she wanted them to prosper. And the reason why is because she kept telling herself, you would never be anything more than a cafeteria worker. She made those words a self fulfilling prophecy. And in doing that, she fractured her mental well being. Because our mental well being, our psychological mental look, that dictates how we show up in the world. It dictates what we feel about ourselves, what we think about ourselves, and how we make decisions, how we go for our dreams and aspirations. But it was that aha moment. Y'all, everybody needs to have that aha moment. Um, Rochelle said, you need to confront those things that's causing you the most pain. Well, on that day, when she had that aha moment, she had to confront what was bothering her. And when she shared with them, she shared that she had carried them words as a mantra, as if that is all she could ever accomplish. Not looking at all the things that she had done in her life, but she allowed that to dictate. So I want to say to you, when you're talking about mental health and your mental wellness, there is one thing that there's one role that all of us must play, and we all have to be a gardener. Yep. We all have to be a gardener because life will life you. Life have hands and it will beat you up. And you have to be ready to handle what life brings you. Because if you don't handle it, and if you don't have a healthy mental wellness, you will be like that woman in her 40s who went all her life being mean to people, trying to protect people, didn't want people to see her insecurities, unsure of all her decisions, unsure of who she was, not showing up 100% her authentic self or allowing herself to shine. But there are a couple of things that this woman learned, and I want to share with you. In your mental wellness, I said that you have to be a gardener. But what is required in your mental wellness or to have mental wellness is investment, protection, intervention, and prevention. Our mental well being is no different than our physical and our emotional well being. Matter of fact, your mental well being affects your emotional well being, which ultimately will affect your physical well being. So, I'm going to tell you what the 40-year-old woman did. After she cried and realized that she had given away her power, and when I say give away her power, she did not realize that she had not taken 100% responsibility for her life. But once she realized that's one step she missed, she took charge of herself and her destiny, which meant she took charge of her mental wellness. And once she took charge of herself, she started becoming a gardener. And she started going back into her mind and start looking at where there were blooms and where there were weeds. And she started pulling up the weeds. And the first weed she went to was the weed that said, you will never be anything more than a cafeteria worker. But she just didn't start there. She started digging and she digged and she digged because she had to also look at the devastation that the self-fulfilling prophecy had did on her life, because there was some devastation. It made her insecure. Her self-esteem was low. She didn't know who she was, and she had very little self-worth, although she showed up in the world like she was perfect. And that's key. Somebody catch that. She showed up in the world like she was perfect. So she started doing some gardening. She started pulling up the weeds, pulling up the weeds. She got her some Roundup and she started spraying, and her Roundup was the word of God. She started changing the way she thought about herself. She changed that stinking thinking to something different. She realized that she had to now start doing some investment into her personal mental well-being. She had to start believing different words. She had to change her self-talk. She started going to conferences. She started going to different things at church. She started reading different books that said she could be and show up. That was her investment. Protection. You could no longer say anything to her. She protected her ear gates and she protected them mostly from herself. Because the self-fulfilling prophecy came not from what the teacher said to her, but what she kept repeating to herself over and over. Intervention. Every time people would try to speak negative into her, what she would do was say, Shift, we're not going to do that. No, no, no. And if they would say, you would never be more, she would always say, I'm more than a conqueror. So she had to get into that Bible and get some words that was a part of her investment so she can deposit them into the new ground. So, she had to get some new dirt, fertilize that new dirt, and those words of those positive words, aspirations, and affirmations became what she lived by. Prevention. She started doing things that would help her take care of her mental well-being when she felt emotionally exhausted, when she felt like she could not do, when she felt herself sinking back into those places. She went to the therapist. She went to her friends who was on her side. She went to those people who could help and uplift her. And can I tell you all, to this day, that 40-year-old woman would be me. I am no longer believing that I could be nothing more than a cafeteria worker. What was meant for evil was worked out for good. I think the devil just had a glimpse of what my purpose truly was, because while I was never a cafeteria worker, I have owned 2 catering businesses. I cook very well. I have a tea business, and my success has started because I fixed the fractures that was in my mental well-being, because my mental well-being dictates how I show up in this world, how I feel about myself, and how I think about myself. So what I want to leave with you today is, as we close this week, this Women's Health Week, I want you to think about your mental wellness and where it is. Are you 100% responsible for you? What are you doing to invest in your mental wellness? What are you doing to protect it? What interventions do you have in place when needed? Because life will life you. And what preventions do you have in place? We all need these 4 things when it comes to our mental wellness, because our mental wellness is how we show up in this world. And I want you to show up as a woman or a man walking in your own shoes, healthy. So Heal Her heals this story.
Yes, come on, Tawan Tilo. Didn't I tell y'all she was going to be dropping the tea? Come on, Mahisa, listen, I already know. I'm going to split Mahisa.
Whew. All
Are
I
you
keep hearing in my head is life gonna life you. So I need that
right?
on somebody's shirt. I need that in my mirror, saying that life ain't about to life me, because that sounds like me and life just had a fight.
Right.
I'm
You
just
know, I was just
there. It's just amazing.
yes. I was about to say, listen, I always tell people I am no green thumb. Don't give me a plant. Now you can give me for some pretty flowers, right? I can take care of them. That whole gardening situation. I was just like working through that in my mind, Tawan, that analogy, and just really being able to peel back what's necessary, and understanding the damage that can be done. And as you said before, fracturing your mental. We didn't even dive into now. Mahisa, she is the mental motivator. So not only outside of this, like you said, being Women's Health Week, we ain't even dig into it yet because it ain't even really our segment part yet of the summit. But you already dropped those tea nuggets on the way. So I already know the mental motivator gonna go in on that part when it's our time. But the nuggets that you dropped and the pathway that you just laid out for us to be able to really dig deep into that part of it has me just thinking, like, as a gardener, you talked about blooming versus weeding through. Oh, did you hear that, Mahisa?
I heard it. I even wrote it down now. So I heard it.
The weeds, right? Going through the weeds. And sometimes we don't want to visit those places that are hurtful, harmful, that, we feel may bring up some things. So we avoid them. And then they tend to just continue to be weeds and grow in underneath in the background. Okay, I said I wasn't going to go there yet. It ain't our time. Listen, I said it wasn't our time.
I got to throw one more in. She said she showed up in the world like she was perfect.
Yeah. That
She
part.
showed up in the world like she was perfect, but in the background, come on now, I'm gonna leave that
Listen.
alone right now. What
That
time
part.
is it? Okay,
That
okay,
part.
okay.
That right. That whole part right
That
there.
whole part. That whole part.
Yes.
That whole part.
So yeah, our segment coming up next after we bring on this other amazing part. So you make sure, Mahisa, you put those two down, right? Them two major
I got
points
it.
right
I'm
there.
ready.
Because we're gonna go in when it's our turn to go in. Because I have another amazing speaker that's about to grace the stage. I'm gonna put her on spotlight. She has I know another amazing message. She is a contributing author in one of the She Is Well volume A, and we coming up with the final volume, but I'll tell y'all about that later. Anyway, her story, this whole she goes in with the wellness piece of it. It's Coach Lakeisha McGaney Osei, and I already know that her message is going to just continue to build on what you've already been exposed to just in this short amount of time that we've been before you this morning. Again, I want to welcome those of you that are joining us live. We've got some people joining us live on stream. Unfortunately, our other platform was being a little special this morning, so I'm glad it seems like a lot of you have made your way over here. Trust me, it was worth the hassle because you are being blessed and you are about to be blessed. So without further delay, Lakeisha McGaney Osei.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Delana, first of all. And Mahisa, it is so good to see you. I just want to give honor to Delana for always continuing to put the heart of health in the forefront for women, men, and children, but particularly women. So we're going to jump right in. I am Lakeisha McGaney Osei of Joy is just over yonder. And I just want to say, are you all ready to heal her in the overflow? I am so glad I'm following Tawana because Delana has a way of lining people up just right. She brought the tea. When you think of tea, you think of water. When you think of water, so you think of flow. And I'm here for the overflow. But first, because we're talking about wellness, we're talking about mental health. We are talking about Women's Health Week. So can we just take some time, just a couple minutes to breathe? Yes. We're just going to take a moment right here to breathe. I am the creator of an experience called Wrapped in Wellness, and our theme this past year and this year is the overflow. But I want you to take a moment with me, and this is every one of you out there, to take a deep breath, to place your feet flat on the floor, if you can. Really feel your feet in contact with the ground underneath you. You've taken in a lot already this morning. Some of you may not have even been able to get yourself out of the bed. So right now, I want you to swing those feet over and put them flat on the ground. Place your hands on your stomach. Take 2 to 3 deep breaths. Notice your stomach rising with each in and out breath. When you feel comfortable, and if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Now, as you keep breathing deeply into your stomach, I would like for you to breathe in for a count of 5, and then hold your breath for a count of 5. Breathe out slowly for a count of 5, and keep breathing in for 5. Again, Breathe in for 5. Count out for 5. Take this time. This might be the only moment during the entire day that you breathe with intention. One more round. Breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5. Great. So I want you to slowly bring your attention back into this virtual room. Notice the sounds around you. Begin to open your eyes. Recognize how you're feeling in this moment, and only this moment. Welcome back. So have you ever sat back and thought, when will my cup run over? How do I get to the place of abundance and peace that I deserve? Then that cup runs and runs, that same one that seemed so empty years ago, it begins to flourish, and then you become overwhelmed. The overflow that you thought you would keep floating in life's bliss, now that same overflow that you've been calling for, praying for, wanting, that same overflow is now drowning you. What are you missing, you think? Isn't this what I've been waiting for, Lord? But in your waiting, I'm talking to you, in your waiting, did you take time to develop your self-care plan? Or were you just concerned with your business plan? Were you embracing ways to manifest self-love, or allowing the love for success to drive your every move? The good news is that it is not too late to build a plan for the flood that you're feeling, particularly in this current season that we are all experiencing. We're going into year 3 of this pandemic that is still out there in some shape or form. But know that you are not alone. Even the most confident women and men can fall victim to the pressure of wearing their cape 24/7. With no oxygen tank for those deep dives, for your families, for your friends, for your loved ones. We keep the cape on, and even when we're running out of oxygen for ourselves, we're still willing to give it away. So recently, prior to, actually right at the same time that I ended up having a severe concussion, I was starting to learn how to swim. I am 49 now, and I have been wanting to learn how to swim for years. So my coach has a whole different way of approaching how he teaches individuals how to swim. And he basically believes you're born with this instinct that we all know how to, we just need someone to bring it out. And it takes some of us longer to manifest it. One of the first exercises he teaches you is to recover and stand. This was so insightful for me, because to save yourself, once you realize you can recover in the midst of feeling overwhelmed, in the midst of drowning in the overflow, you just need the right gear and the right mindset to navigate the waters and to stand your ground. So once he taught me just that simple act of tucking in, kicking out, and then standing up in the water. My God, it all hit me. Even if I can't fully swim like an Olympian, I can keep myself from drowning. So when you think about this overflow, you think about abundance, your cup running over, but you also can be put in a space of feeling like you're drowning. But we do not have to stay there and drown. We have people that are out there willing to throw and be the life preserves in our lives, but we have to recognize them. So we started this segment out with just simply being intentional about breathing, because we don't want you to walk away from the Heal Her Summit and say that that was wonderful, but what now? So if you notice, we're giving you tools to walk away with. So in the Confident Overflow, that recovery plan that I spoke of, this is a way for you to do a self-check. So I am going to share with you how to develop one that is nourishing to your body, mind, and soul. So what is the overflow? First of all, I want you to free your mind, body, and spirit. There is freedom in liberating yourself. I called the great 48, that year was 48 was the year I liberated myself from a lot of things. God created us to live free, unfettered, and not to be bound. So be mindful of the energy that you include, including what you consume. Free your mind, body, and spirit so you can flow. Lavish yourself with self-care, self-love, and self-compassion. Yes, self-compassion as well. You do not have to seek permission to be first on your to-care list. Put you first. Many have no problem with the first two, but when you introduce self-compassion to the picture, you realize that we give others more compassion than we give ourselves. So lavish yourself with self-love, self-care, and self-compassion. And then, baby, when you flow, you have to own your decisions. Yes, whether it's familial relationships, romantic relationships, staying in a job that is draining you dry, own your decisions to stay, to leave, or to compromise. It's on you. What are you going to do? And lastly, you want to wrap yourself in wellness. Yes, it's more than a signature experience. It is something that you must do if you want to continue to thrive in a world that is constantly looking for a way to beat you down. But you are surrounded by women, your tribe. You have to have people in your lives that you can create your own wellness tribe. Explore holistic approaches to your wellness. Be open to seeking out therapeutic services. We've mentioned that it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Don't fall victim to the taboo of we don't need therapists. We can take care of it. Prayer helps, but so does therapy. So I want you to flow, continue to flow. And the overflow can be a great thing. It is a great thing. That's why I do the overflow brunches. But we also want to recognize when a sister is drowning in it, be ready to throw out that life preserve. I am Lakeisha McGaney Say of Joy is Just Over Yonder. And you can follow me at I am LMOSEI on most social media. Flow with us in your overflow.
Y'all better be ready to flow. Okay. We only been at this for an hour, less than an hour, and I'm already flowing. I'm already trying to dig up the weeds. I'm already getting into it and through it. Come on, Mahisa.
Getting through it. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start, Lakeisha. I am so excited to see you. I don't know if I was starting with the tuck in and the kick out, but I'm telling you, I just the lavish, the words that you use, because you ain't say just do the self care, do the self compassion. You know, we have to think about the words that you specifically use. And we so afraid to lavish ourselves in these things. You know, they make lavish lotions and lavish all of this other stuff, but we will lavish ourselves and everybody else's stuff. And so I love that you use that because it makes us a priority. But
Absolutely.
you ain't have to go there with the from the mental health to the relationship, because somebody out there needed to hear this all in order from this morning. And you took somebody there. Okay, Lakeisha, you took somebody. You said, I don't care if you in a relationship, you at the job that's driving you crazy. What you gonna do? Stay, leave, or compromise. Come on, I gotta stop right there because
Oh,
I think I'm gonna have to elaborate on that one right there because that alone,
oh yeah.
it took my mental health someplace.
Absolutely. And let me just say this. First of all, because I had to do this morning, normally I have like this morning routine. And today, that routine was out the window because of, again, as I mentioned before, the technical difficulties, things not being the way it is. You know, I got to operate in excellence. So that just took me off my game. Her ability to start her session, her portion with getting me centered, that just put everything right back into perspective for me because I was so like all over. And for you to actually put us in an intentional space, I think I even wrote it down. You said breathe, because this may be the only time that you intentionally sit still and do your breathing, right? And so for me, because it was so thrown off this morning, you're absolutely right. Other than my still moments that I get my reminders about throughout the day, kind of reminding me to keep still, it's one of those things that, again, ladies, you said it, Lakeisha, we have to be intentional about making sure that we're not operating in this space of emptiness, right? Because we poured out and given out so much that we're now operating in the overflow. Listen, come on through. So, Mahisa, all right, we at the point where it's right. Normally, so you know, when you get to the top of the hour, you like, is this time for intermission? I'm an intermission, nothing. Listen, this is what we gonna intermission. We're gonna intermission that me and the mental motivator. Listen, y'all better get your pens out outside of what Rochelle has already deposited into your intentional well-being this morning. Tawan Lowe giving you them gardening tools. Come on. And then Lakeisha telling you that you operating over overflow from the teacup that Tawan just gave. Okay. That Tawan dropped. All of that just is going to bring us to this point right here. So, my amazing co-host, Mahisa, the mental motivator, take them where they need to be, not only during mental health awareness month, but throughout being able to start a wellness plan. Pick it up, take the ball, run it into the end zone.
These ladies kind of already put the plan in action. You know, we started off, like you said, talking about we going to dig deep with Rochelle. You know, we started off our healer with our bitter but better, you know, and that was coming to a place of being real, you know, that we've all gotten to a place where we were bitter, or we had this area in our life that we were still confused about. And, you know, she talked about the power source. And so I don't even need to make something up, because all I have to do is utilize what's already here. If you never had a wellness plan, okay, it starts with you. It starts with you, not with anybody else. So first, we have to write down some things, those areas of your life that you have going on that stopping you from being the best version of yourself. I need you to look around and see who is your power source. Because let me tell you something. If you don't have somebody that you can talk to, and let's say you haven't gotten to the therapist yet, then I need you to start looking around and looking at your circle. Because if your circle is not dependable, if they not the sisters that you can truly say are sisters, then I need you to go ahead and you need to get a new circle. And you might want to come on over here and contact us if you're watching out there. You might want to go ahead and look at these names and go ahead and start following us on Facebook, on Instagram, and start staying connected, because that's what we started off with. Staying connected. You need to be connected because we are so better together. And then what we talked about, part 3 of the wellness plan. Tawan came through with the TLC, and she talked about the gardener. So now we're taking those things that we've written down, and now we want to dig a little deep into them. Now we're looking for the blooms, and we're looking for the weeds. And come on now, I still got some weeds. I don't know about y'all, but I still got some weeds that I'm plucking out. But it's those weeds that allow us to be able to be a little bit more into ourselves. So not just self-awareness, we talking about soul awareness. I'm not gonna get started because I just came to give y'all a little bit today. Okay, because she ain't have to bring it over to me right now, because I'm using what you ladies gave me today. No matter how much of a mental motivator I am in this wellness game, I always want to learn, and I always want to be able to intake and utilize you all as my power source. So I'm just going to give you just a little bit more. And I said, after I found that power source and I'm looking for those weeds, and I'm over here digging, because she did say you better get some new dirt. So that new dirt might be those new sisters. I'm just saying, I ain't come here to play with you today. So that new dirt might be those new sisters, might be that new power source, but I need you to get some new stuff. Let's get rid of that old crap that got us over here all bitter and angry, and we angry at the wrong people, and now it's coming out on our family. And then we go now to how Lakeisha just took us this, all right? She took us to this overflow. But what we didn't really realize is she talked about, when we think about this overflow, it's like, thank you, Jesus, for overflowing my cup. But she said, in that overflowing your cup, you drowning, boo. You drowning, because all of those gifts and talents that he has given you, you all over the place right now. Your time management, you're drowning. And so we got to go back to that tuck in and kick out and stand up. I need you to stand up strong with those sisters around you. Learn how to lavish yourself in that self-care. Please yourself. We cannot be good to anyone else until we good to ourselves. You see, self-awareness comes from soul awareness. Being aware of that inside. We can look good outside because, come on, Tawan already told us, we can show up. I can show up and show out and be a hot mess inside. But that's not what we want today, because what you said it was called, heal her. You came to heal. And I just gave you the tea based off of the 3 amazing ladies and speakers that we just had. So I'm going to somehow write that down, okay, because that's going to be the tips of the day that I'm going to put on my page. Because you ladies have blessed us. And no matter where you at in your area, Lakeisha said it, are you staying? Are you leaving? Are you compromising? And if you missed the Her Voice, Her Purpose Summit, pick a damn side. So I had to come there. Sorry.
Listen.
We came here to heal.
Yes, all day. See, all of that. And you were there last week, or was it the week before? See how she brought all of that together? Everything that we just heard from the first 3 speakers in today's segment. And so what I want to kind of just expound upon that Mahisa talked about is that, and well, actually Tawan laid the initial seed, and I'm gonna just boom right into it. And I was on her summit 2 weeks ago, and she talked about, well, her voice, her purpose. And I, during my time of sharing, talked about how I was, and I'm going to put this in such a way that you're going to be like, what? I was successfully unhealthy. I showed up places dressed to the nines, in my stilettos, hair perfectly done, makeup beat to the gods. And on the inside, I was so unhealthy, both physically and mentally, that if it were not for me understanding how to compartmentalize, turn it on and turn it off. I don't know how I made it through, but I did. And so I knew, of course, being a nurse, that was not a healthy place for me to operate in. And so I had to do that gardening in a sense, for an analogy purposes, gardening, understanding what was I operating in? What was I trying to prove? Or was I trying to prove something? Where did this unnatural, unhealthy behavior that I was exhibiting, where did that come from? What did it stem from? And it went back to being mental. It was that I had to show up in the way in which I did all the time, everywhere, to prove a point of me being an expert in wellness when I wasn't at the time operating in wellness. I felt like I had to really be all over the place to show people that I was worthy, that I would show up, and that what I had to say mattered. And so, therefore, it was having me running from pillar to post, doing things that truly wasn't necessary. But I really didn't have anyone in my tribe at the time that could tell me, girl, go over there and sit down somewhere. You're doing too much. Sit down. You're doing too much. Take that cape off. It's not necessary. Matter of fact, it's not even cute because you're not showing up in the way that you could. If you did less, you would able to get done more. You would be able to touch more. You would be able to impact more if you just sit down and operate in your purpose. Share your voice and operate in your purpose. I was all over the place doing too much. Why? Because they needed to see me. They needed to hear me. They needed to know who I was. So I was all over here. And guess who I was impacting? Probably not as many as I would if I had sat down and had a seat somewhere. Okay? So I needed to heal me. So I had to get off scene for a little bit, go back to the drawing board and figure out, how did I even get on that path to begin with? Who whispered in my ear and told me, girl, go out there and do this, that, and the other? Why are you doing this, that, and the other? So it really took some work. And all of that was mental work. It was really just kind of peeling back the layers to figure out where along the way did I either hear it or did I either think that what I was doing wasn't enough? Was it that, like Tawan said, that little girl where somebody said, or your voice, nobody want to hear what you got to say. They're not going to see you as being a wellness expert. You don't have what it takes to do such and such. Was it that, or was it me comparing myself, right? We get that comparison syndrome as well, where we can, right now, especially with social media, right now, I could flip y'all off and open up my phone and go on there and I can see somebody who's in the wellness space that's doing some amazing, great things that make me think, oh, she doing, and I'm only, right? It's that comparison thing that we do. And so I had to go back to that analogy, that gardening, figure out what was blooming and where were the weeds growing. What was impacting me from not being able to bloom from the place in which I was planted. Come on, from which I was planted, because I had already dropped the seeds. But guess what? Some of them weren't falling on fertile ground. Some of the seeds that I was planting and some of the time and places where I was spending my energy wasn't falling on fertile ground. So that's why it wasn't growing. It wasn't that I, as the person who was planting the seeds, wasn't capable, wasn't able, and didn't have the talents to make it bloom. It was just that the seeds were falling on unfertile ground. Wasn't falling on the right soil. Angela Sanders. Come joined. On. Y'all better hear me now. Better be putting down, writing out some stuff between me, Mahisa, Rochelle, and Lakeisha so far. And you haven't even gotten to the second part of this Heal Her. But I know what you've heard so far is definitely going to put you on a path, on a journey, or keep you already on the journey that you're on to heal. Whether it's trauma, whether it's something that you've been exposed, or whether what we're saying just exposed some information or some possible past trauma or some past truths, some past hurts that you experienced. I'm gonna stop it right there, Mahisa. Come on.
Man, it's just exciting to be here because I'm laughing on how the sun just came out and gave this little glare behind me. And I'm saying, just thank you, Jesus, for healing. Yes. It's something so simple because it was so cloudy thus far. But this is where we at, and nobody wants to talk about it. So I just have to say, like, shout out to the amazing speakers today, and to you for organizing this, because these are subjects that we will continue to run around and think that we're doing things, and think that we're being positive, and think that we're impacting, and we're not
Right.
impacting anyone, at the end of the day, because we're not even impacting ourselves, but we look good. And so I'm about balance right now. And you talked about that. Everything in my life right now is about achieving balance. And that is, it comes with some sacrifices. And what I mean by sacrifices is, we got to let go of some of that stuff. We got to let go of people. We have to let go of things. And I go back to Lakeisha saying, are you staying, leaving, or compromising? Because this is what we do our whole entire lives. And I'm looking at us as we sacrifice to be mothers, and I'm saying that no, sacrificing to be a mom and to be an entrepreneur does not mean that we sacrifice ourselves. And we have to get to that place of stop thinking that we are selfish because we can do everything for everybody else and could do nothing for ourselves. We got people out here dying every day. Okay, dying every day, either not achieving their purpose, not knowing their purpose. They're dying and leaving families behind and not achieving anything. And all we can say on the obituary is that she was a good person and she played in a church, and we can say these things, but we looking around, and who does she really impact? Because the kids and the family saying, I wish she was around more.
Right.
I wish she just stood a stayed still. I wish she could have sat still. And you know what, sisters on here, I'm putting this out there, Delana, because I've been talking a lot about it, about doing, and I was just thinking about doing it myself and giving you a call, Delana, some of us who's in this mental health world. And I wanted to do a silence and solitude getaway.
Ooh.
Where we get away. And again, I don't know about nobody else, but I've done it before. And I'm saying we got to unplug. You know how she talked about the power source? Come on, TLC. You talked about the power source, but sometimes we got to unplug, and we just need to be each other's power source for a moment with no phones and no nothing, and really impact and cry and get that stuff out. I'm going to leave it there. I put it out there. I wasn't supposed to, but God told me go ahead and put it out there to some ladies who are about their business and who going to hold you accountable so that we can make this happen. Because I'm about balance, and that's how we achieve balance. And sometimes we got to get away and unplug from all of this nonsense so that we can be the best versions of ourselves. Woo!
That's it. Yes. Come on. Listen. You and me both. It was a reason why I write. So always right time, right situation. And there was, share that information. I absolutely love it. So ladies, we are on fire. We're getting ready to bring you into the second part of this and to our final 3 amazing speakers. Before I do that, again, I want to say you are in the Heal Her Summit with Delana Watkins, the wellness maven, and my co-host, Mahisa Green. She's the mental motivator. And we purposely collided today to bring you this 3rd annual Heal Her Summit. So we have people, and I want to say again, y'all know I'm so grateful for those of us who have this fortitude to want the information, because we have women joining us live on the live stream that was not able to get on our original link. So thank you all for joining us. We've got Stacey Diane that's on here, the amazing Jonika Lynch. She is the opulence of the OLBA. And so welcome, Jonika Haynes Lynch. We have Nikki Black Hill that was joining us live. Tanya Young. She is my, look, her and Angie call each other left rib, right rib. I guess both of them are like my heartbeat and my lungs. Love them dearly. So Tanya Young, thank you so much for showing up. I'm looking to see who else is on my screen. So I appreciate you guys just showing up live. Miss Ann Davis, I saw her on here as well. So all of you that made sure some type of way you text whoever invited you to today's summit and was able to join us via the stream on Facebook or in the Women's Wellness Lounge. So I appreciate you for your perseverance. Next up, we have Miss Simone Adams. This young lady came in my life through friendship and a relationship, and we are just staying connected again. As I said before, people come into your lives in different ways and for different reasons, and they have a various purposes, right? And so I am grateful to be connected to her. She shared her story with me, and I said, you know what? You got to be on this platform. You have a voice, and this is the most, to me, great platform for you to be on because you were able to heal through this. And so why not share your story on the Heal Her Summit? So without further delay, I'm going to bring to the spotlight and to the screen for her to continue to share and bless you all, Miss Simone Adams.
Hello, everybody. I am feeling the love today. I feel confident. I feel purposeful. Empowered women, empower women. We are doing this. Delana, Mahisa, thank you so much for having me on this platform. Most of the things that I wanted to talk about that I had written down, I just want to leave that alone. I want to go off the top of my head. It's crazy how things happen and you get in a space with people that you've never met, but you all seem to have the same story. I feel like what I went through at one point, it was so embarrassing for me, but I've learned that through this process with being transparent, it has opened up a whole new world. I want to start off by saying, pray and don't worry. And if you worry, don't pray. I've had to learn faith. It was hard. I had to learn faith because my thing is I'm a control freak. I like to know what's going to happen. I like to plan. These past 5 years have shown me that you're going to move in faith, you're going to pray, and you're going to let it go. Let me start off by introducing myself. I am Simone Adams, divorce advocate and strategist for women who are going through a divorce and they need assistance with that transition from going from married life back to single life. I want to be that resource to help them. If they need help and not knowing where to start, because that's the hardest part. You may not want to open up to family, close friends for that assistance. I want to be that go-to. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a daughter, a boss. But most of all, most importantly, I'm a mother to my 2 children, Justin and Soraya. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Several different jobs I worked when I moved to New Jersey, eventually to start high school. I worked for nursing homes, banking, realizing that my true love and my passion was in the path of nursing. I went on to meet my husband at that time, and I dropped everything to support his careers and his goals. This is what brought me to the state of Maryland. With so many adversities and a marriage that wasn't planned for what I wanted it to be, a mother falling ill to dementia. I got pregnant in the midst of all of that. I had no choice but to put my faith in a higher power. That's what I was taught to refer to. I'm going to bring you back. 2016, I had my daughter. It wasn't planned. It was a surprise. I thought I was changing life. 2017, my husband abandoned our home and left me and my children. 2018, my mother passed away. 2019, my home went into foreclosure. In 2020, we were all in a pandemic. Those past couple of years, that was a rough season for me, very tough. I tried to hide away. I tried to make it seem like I was okay, and I wasn't. I was dying inside. I'm at a point now where I feel like the season is transitioning. I'm starting to come into my own now. I know who I am. I show up, and I'm positive. Like Tawan said, I would show up in certain events and I'll be dressed to the nines and dressed down too. But inside, I didn't even know who I was. So for a lot of people, and I hate to say this, but for me, my divorce was almost a blessing. I took a back seat and I was submissive to my husband and I did everything that I was supposed to do as a wife. But I forgot who I was. I got lost in motherhood. I forgot, I got lost with being a wife. I would support everything that he did. I was home and taking care of the kids. And that was my life. And that was everything. And that's not wrong. But at the same time, I still needed to make time for me. And I didn't do that. I didn't even have time to really mourn and grieve everything that I was going through. So I dug myself into therapy heavily. I really thought I was having a nervous breakdown. My mother was my rock. Once she passed away, I didn't really know how to express myself to anybody else because I felt like nobody would understand. Thank God I have my sister and my best friend. They were definitely my tribe. People would come out and help assist with watching my children and doing everything, for them that was needed. Therapy was my core. I have what I found out was I have imposter syndrome. I dealt with never trusting that I can do what everybody else can do. I was always scared, always took a back seat. I can write something good for you. I can tell you what to wear. But if you try to put me out there and tell me, no, you do it, I'll say, oh, no, I'm going to sit here. I was always scared. I felt that I just didn't trust myself. I had to really dig into my prayer. I had to really dig into that word and start, building up my confidence. I'm like, how can you go out of here, look attractive? And I didn't even have any accolades under my name. I didn't have anything to brag about, except that I was a mother and a wife. At this point, I started, telling myself, affirmations. I deserve all that is good. That's it. Self-care for me is proactive, not reactive. I started making sure that every morning I would wake up. And when I would wake up in the morning, I had my time with God, no matter what. I didn't wake up my children. I won't start breakfast. I won't do anything. I woke up and I had my time with God. I also learned how to meditate. I couldn't even sit still for 3 minutes in the beginning because I've had so much trauma going on in the past couple of years, dealing with court, dealing with, my mother passing, her being in hospice, and just watching that put me in a whole mental space in itself. Once I started writing down how my day was going to flow and I started giving myself a schedule, I started feeling like a weight was lifted. Like I wasn't everywhere. I felt like my brain, I had scatterbrain. I kept running around here doing this, doing that, and I was exhausted. I ended up in a hospital. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't doing everything that I was supposed to do for me. And I ended up making myself, ill. I got dehydrated. And they also told me that I had anxiety, really bad. I was embarrassed about that, but I also said I need to stay the course and I need to make sure that I stay with my regimen of making sure that I provide myself self-care. So I was doing more aftercare. Aftercare for, me was once I was diminished or blown out, tired and stressed out, then I would turn around and say, oh, I need a vacation or I need time off. When you practice an aftercare, you're managing crisis after crisis. Seems like it never ends. I manage self-care. I have a schedule. I make sure that it is preventative. I do everything that I have to do for me first. My children are always going to be okay. I make sure that I stay on top of my rest. That was another thing. I can't go to sleep with all of these things on my mind. I made sure that I would get the proper rest that I deserved. It was critical. So I say all that to say, now I feel like I'm getting this platform. Delana came into my life. I've met other young ladies, whatever, that have talked to me, and we just connected off of things that we've been through. I just feel that God does everything for a reason, and I can be a testimony for somebody. Me being transparent was really, really hard for me because I'm a very private person, kind of an introvert. But this right here is opened up a whole new world. And I'm so thankful because I don't call myself strong. I feel like I'm resilient. When you watch one of your parents pass away, you watch your home go into foreclosure, you don't have a roof over your head, you don't know where you're going to go. And you're the head and the tail in your home now. And you have 2 children that you have to provide for because they have to eat and you have to do everything. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to do. But I promise you, if you pray and you put yourself and you ground yourself in your faith and make sure that you walk that walk every day and you still hold your head up high, I promise everything will turn out okay. Once you believe in yourself, and when you do believe in yourself, trust yourself when you believe in yourself and you move in faith. Again, you can find me on all platforms, Instagram, Clubhouse. I'm Simone Adams, divorce advocate and strategist. If you know anybody, or if it's you, please contact me. You can hit the link in my bio. I love all of you. Thank you.
Yay! Simone. Okay, so I was over here like, oh, this is so good. And I know you listen, as you said before, I'm so glad that sometimes we do. And it's okay to take notes to say, I want to make sure I say this and make sure I cover this. It was a blessing that you just casted that to the side and flowed with it. You did an amazing job sharing your story,
Thank you.
because sometimes hearing ourselves say what we've experienced allows us to put it out there in the universe to say, guess what? Yup, all of that. And I'm still here standing.
Yes.
I'm still here standing. And what I did with that is going to empower the next woman, because you don't know who's going to see this.
No.
Listen to this on the podcast, watch it, share it. I see one of our speakers, one of our panelists, Sheila, on here tagging a whole tribe of folks. Sheila tagging on here. Obviously, people that she know not only want to listen to her, but needs to hear what's being said on this Heal Her Summit.
Yes.
My thing over here just blowing up. All I see is just, I'm like, who are these? Who is Sheila Marie tagging? Who is all these people? And then we got all these comments of people saying, you know, thank you for sharing your story. Stacy, Diane, Stacy. And guess what? She's a Virgo. She put Stacy Virgo. She put, thanks for sharing your story. So amazing. So again, you don't know who will be listening to this live, watching it on the replay once it's, you know, edited and uploaded, you know, to Roku, to our podcast, who will then listen to that story and say, that's me. I can relate to a portion, a part, all of it, some of it.
Yes.
I'm making a change today. I'm going to implement something that she talked about. Mahisa, my co-host, come look. I already know you. Save me. Come on.
Simone, where have you been all my life? Simone, you came out here and off the bat, you know, we have to do that. And I watched your faces, you know, because we do this. I love working with speakers, and I watched your face and I said, enemy, be gone. Because I know he came at that moment when you said, I'm going to leave those notes to the side and I'm going to speak from my heart, because, whoo, I got the chills. I don't know how, I got the chills on my arms, because when you do that, we remove the adversary from everything that is around us. And you defeated him, because let me tell you something, that's your signature story. It's the story that you wasn't supposed to tell, that you don't tell, or that you go tippy-toeing around. I'm going to keep it 100 with you.
Yes.
That's the story that you were supposed to talk about today. And the enemy said, oh, you don't want to let people know what's going on. You didn't want to let them know you was down and you lost the house. And because you didn't come here for sympathy.
Right.
You came here to heal. But what you didn't know, that today you are the one that put that collab together. You didn't just talk about the healing. You talked about, you didn't realize this, your purpose. Yes. Your purpose was beyond being the divorce advocate. And your purpose is to speak and to impact and to inspire and to give people the realness, the authenticity that you gave today, that I don't need a script, because this is my real life.
Yes.
And I'm not strong, I'm resilient, because you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes of the glitz and glam.
Yes.
And so you put that collab together today by doing what God told you to do. And I am so excited for you about what's next. And what you don't know, if you haven't caught the slang, you talking to your Brooklyn sister. So you already know it's on and popping.
I was waiting for you to I was waiting. Listen.
She don't know who she just connected with.
Crown Heights.
BK all day.
All day.
Brownsville, what we doing? Oh my God.
Listen. When I tossed you the mic, right? When I tossed you that virtual mic, I just knew you were going to come out with the whole Brooklyn thing, but you didn't. But I said, I knew you were going to weave it in there. She was like, okay, let me first tell her all this first. It ain't like you can't hear it. It ain't like you can't hear it. So I already knew.
Oh, you've been a blessing. You've been a blessing. I cannot
Thank you.
wait. You've been a blessing. That's really all I can say. Just continue to believe in yourself and trust your voice, because your voice is your purpose. So just continue to the same thing you told us to do. I need you to do it, because I'm looking forward to seeing you on quite a few platforms. And we're looking for that book. That's all I'm saying. Whose anthology? You got 2 anthologies right here that
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Listen, that's what I already told her. I said, listen next. Don't even tell him yet, Mahisa. Don't even tell him that's for the end. Don't even tell him it's for the end. Don't tell him it's for the end. Don't tell him it's for the end. But whoo, the download, Simone, again, you did an excellent job. Y'all, all the people that are here were purposed to be here. There were like a couple of other people that was like, oh, I think I want to be on the platform. You know what? I don't even have room for you because I think I'm good with what I have. I think God sent the right people to accomplish what we set out to do on today, which is for this Heal Her Summit. So I thank you again for your yes. As I said to all of you ladies before, for showing up. I totally appreciate you all for saying yes. So we're going to keep riding this thing. Again, if you're just joining us, you are tuned into the Heal Her Summit. And I am your host, Delana Watkins, the Wellness Maven. And I have next to me my amazing co-host, Mahisa Green, the Wellness Motivator. No. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's the Wellness Motivator, right? No, the Mental Motivator. I got Wellness and it's the Mental Motivator. Let me do that again. Mahisa Green, the Mental Motivator. Okay? And together, we're bringing you the Heal Her Summit. All right, so our next speaker that's coming up on this amazing panel is my sister. We say that we are sisters, right? And we say we got, help me out here, Ange. We say we got different
mothers,
not the
same daddy,
yeah,
but the same father.
Okay, all right, I got it right now. Ange, I'm about to unmute your mic. Meanwhile, if you got Facebook or something in the background, turn that volume down because I can hear it. Look, I'm gonna do like the people do on the radio. You got to turn your volume down, okay? So I'm gonna unmute you. Make sure that if you stream it on Facebook, you got that in the background. Turn that volume down because we want to hear everything you say, and we don't want to hear it twice in the background, okay? Because what you're about to say, what you're about to share, I already know is gonna be 100. Angie and I have been friends, sisters / friends. She's part of my tribe for the better of 30 years. And I don't take it lightly. When I say, when I'm gone, she know where all the bones are buried. Okay? So if you're looking for something or if you thought something, you might want to call Angie because she know about all of them. She is that, when we say ride or die, we don't take that lightly. If I'm feeling happy, she's there. If I'm feeling sad, I'm there. If I don't know how I'm feeling, she's there. And the same for her. She could be here. She could be in another country. We could be wherever. It doesn't matter. It could be the middle of the night. If I'm feeling anxious, if I can't sleep well, she's the one that I call. We all should have that, right? And I forget which one it is in the Bible that we should have, but that's her. Who that? Come on, tell me which one, who that is. Who that? That's your what?
Yeah, that's your Naomi and Ruth. Naomi and Ruth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Naomi and Ruth. Angie, you and us will never part. Okay, all right. I digress. Let me bring Angie to the scene. Angie, I appreciate you, yes, for being my Naomi. Okay. All right, y'all. We're gonna continue on with this Heal Her Summit. So I appreciate you, and I'm gonna unmute you and bring you to the virtual stage.
Thank you so much. Good morning, ladies. It's so good to see you all and to hear the testimonies that have taken place so far. They have truly been enriching on every level. And I'm applying them to my life as we speak. And I'm taking notes as well. My name is Angela Sanders. I'm Miss Health Concierge. I've been a nurse for 36 years. I'm a mother of 2 adult children, 34 and 36. And I have a granddaughter who's amazing. She's 5 years old. One of the events that took place in my life was that I went through a divorce from my high school sweetheart. I just knew it was going to last forever. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. Unbeknownst to me, he made some different choices and walked away from his family. That left me to pick up the pieces. So now, like Simone, mom and dad, I've got to figure this thing out. You know, I'm now down to one income. We got to sell this house. And I've got to also to, even though my children
Hold on one second. I'm still having background noise from you. Do you have another device?
Just a cell phone, but do I need to move it?
Yeah, is it on?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it on? Is it on Facebook?
No.
Just a cell phone.
Okay. I don't know why I'm hearing two sounds from you. Do you have an iPad or something on?
No.
It could be if she's using the same device for the Facebook that she has
For the
on,
audio?
it's still in the background. She just gotta exit out of Facebook, period.
I'm on the link.
Are you using something else for your audio?
Just the computer. Just my laptop. Yeah.
She may just need to turn off the phone.
Turn off the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Just the computer. Let me turn off the phone.
Yeah. She may just need to turn off the phone.
I'm turning that off.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So everything is like coming back twice for some reason.
Okay. I turn off the cell phone. Is that better? I'm turning that off.
It's the actual if she was ever logged on to Facebook on any device, she has to just X out of whatever she was watching live before she came on. She has to X out of that.
Yeah, because I think
so. It could be on another link that's on the same computer.
Right.
Another tab.
Ange, look on your laptop and see if you still are on Facebook on your laptop, because I can hear you on the live. So click your tab if you still got Facebook open.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Hold on.
Okay. So close out your Facebook live.
There it goes.
Praise God. Won't he do it? See, 2 times he
tried to do
it. Yes.
All right. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that better, lady?
Yes, that's better, because we were hearing you live on the Facebook because you had it on your link. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Back to the top.
Back to the top. Like Simone, I went through a divorce and had to figure things out because it's now just me and still have semi-adult children. Got the house almost foreclosed. I had to file bankruptcy 7. And it was a lot. I had to set my tone for how my life was going to exist from that day forward. And one of the things that I focused on was flying beyond the hurt. As you know, butterflies start out as worms, and then they go into this cocoon. That's what I did, because I had to set out the background noise. I had to make sure that I was in tune with God, because of course I needed him more now than I ever did. So during that time of being in the cocoon, I made sure I prayed. I made sure that I start to focus on Angie, because during those 26 years, Angie never existed. I was mom. I was going to church. I was one of the community moms as well. I was one of the school moms as well. I was the wife. So I was everybody but Angela. So during that time, I had to figure out what color Angela liked, what foods Angela really liked. I had to figure out how to manage my money. I had to figure out how to buy a car. So it was a lot of mental that went into being in that cocoon. And it took a long time, because also too, I was going through hurt. So I had to figure out how not to be angry where I wanted to really take harm to this person. So during that period, I had to realize that forgiveness is the key for me to move forward effectively under God's anointing. So I started the phase of forgiving, which was not easy, because there were many days I struggled, like, God, why I got to forgive this person? This person did this to me. I don't feel that they deserve that. And God said, it's not for them. It's for you, my child. In order for you, the path that I've ordered for you to be successful, you've got to forgive. And at that moment, of course, it didn't make sense, but obedience, as my grandmother say, has always been the other key ingredient. So I started the phase of forgiving, and I noticed that God started pouring into my life. Some things started to come a little easier. Some things I still struggle with because, of course, we want to know the why, and we want it as in yesterday. But God's timing is always the perfect timing because it's going to land you right in a vertical position. It's going to allow you to grasp the tools that God has for you so you can move forward with your life. I think one of the hardest parts too during that divorce was that we had to give up our marital home. It was a home that we had built from scratch. We had built together, and I've got to walk away from it and let it go. And God said to me, I'm going to give you something even better. The car, let it go, because I'm going to give you something even better. And moving forward, once I was able to finally exit that cocoon, this wonderful butterfly formed. And I've been a butterfly ever since. Has it been an easy transition? No. But God being faithful and saying, just follow me, my child. I'm going to make this path a little easier for you. So during these past couple of years, the forgiveness has come full term. I'm actually able to talk to my children's father, concerning any thing that may come up, kids or the grandkids. I'm able to financially support myself and invest in a lot of things that I've never known about, because we as Black women a lot of times fall short of planning for our future, for our retirement. And I was one of those women. I had exhausted my 401k plan going through the divorce. So I had no savings. I had no retirement funds any longer. So God was able to give me that back through travel nursing. So I'm able to honestly say that flying beyond the hurt is possible. Also, too, I shared this with you as well. How we respond to things determines how long it stays in our lives. So you have the power to say, okay, I got to let this go because what God has for me is bigger than where I'm starting off. And one of the other things that I held on to also is Ephesians 6 and 10. That's one of my favorite Bible verses as well. He guards me, he shields me, and he protects me from all of my enemies. So that's one of the Bible verses that I have kept with me for many, many years, and I still hold dear in my heart, along with Psalms 23. So through it all, you are able to overcome. You will overcome. You will heal, and you will heal in wellness. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be just walking around in this world surviving. You want to be existing effectively so you can be the best version of you that you can for yourself and for your family. So with that being said, Heal Her Summit, I love you, ladies, and I thank you for providing me a spot to be on this platform. And just let it go. Just let it go, because you will heal and you will be okay.
Woo,
thank you.
Listen, Right Rib said, fly beyond the hurt. Yes, absolutely. We
Fly
are
beyond the hurt.
flying. We are doing what we need to do to get beyond the hurt. I love it. And I did put on there about what was it? I put on there. Oh, let me see. Oh, forgiveness, the power in forgiveness. I put that up as you said it as well. That is something that that also took me a minute to understand that yes, there is power in forgiveness. And just like you, I had to say to myself, yes, it's not about the person who performed the act, but yes, it is about me gaining back my power to be able to move into my next and to be purposed for what God has me here for. And I will not allow that to drain me of that or cloud my vision of what that looks like. And so, yes, there is power in forgiveness. And Ange, I was there for it. We talked about it even during that time, not really understanding what was all happening. but it was being in the midst of it and then trying to make sense of it as you're going through it.
Right.
So again,
As you're going through.
yeah, your tribe is necessary. Being able to understand, and oftentimes putting yourself in that person's shoes too, to be able to give them advice from that place and not from a place of, you know, oh girl, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And yes, like you said, if I was that person when you felt those feelings of wanting to cause harm, if I was not that Ruth to your Naomi, I'd be like, girl, what you want to do? Flatten the tires, bust out the window. What you want to do? Let me know. Where we meeting up? Put the black on.
Let's roll up.
Let's roll up. Like, let's roll.
Yes.
Right? If that was not who we are, that would have been how we would have showed up. But I said to you, like you said, flying above the hurt, flying beyond that. You became that butterfly, and you are now in a position to be so much more powerful and do so much more impact because you healed her.
You healed.
Yes. So thank you once again for saying yes. And yep, Sheila in the background giving you clap ups. So we've been going now, y'all, for an hour, and this has been so amazing. Rochelle kicked it off. Tawan picked up the ball. She was followed into the overflow with Lakeisha, Maganey, Osei. And then we had our little intermission, our little thing where, you know, me and the mental motivator, Mahisa, we were just kind of like chopping it all up, bringing it all to you, letting you know why you are here for the Heal Her Summit. And once again, welcome to those who are just joining us. And thank you to those who have been on from the beginning for staying here. But I know you're being blessed. I know these nuggets that these ladies are sharing with you are in some way, shape, or form impacting your voice and your purpose during the Heal Her Summit. All right, so now we done went from the DMV to Houston, Texas to Brooklyn. Was that Crown Heights or something I heard up in Brooklyn to now we going all the way back. No, wait a minute, Alabama. And now we're circle back to Houston, Texas. Way, sway to my girl Sheila Marie King. I appreciate you, as you know, for your yes. I am so thankful for you being a part of my tribe. You're the only one, pretty much the only one that can just not call, but FaceTime. And I can be in the middle of putting on a bra with one boob in and one boob out. And I can FaceTime, okay? I will still face. She don't know how to talk. It's like our words have to be like she can't call me because it's not as effective. Like the FaceTime just does something. She gotta see me say what I'm saying, and I gotta see her say what she's saying. And I love that. I appreciate it. Only Sheila can bring that thing. Even my kids, when they call me and I'm putting on, like, what are you FaceTiming me for? You couldn't just call me. What you FaceTiming me for? But that one right there, and I must say, I do in return. If I got something to say, it's almost like she has to see me say what I'm saying to make it important. So I appreciate you. And again, this is why you have to have certain people in your life, and we all play a role in your life, again, as you are on your journey and as you're healing in your relationships. So Sheila, without further delay, I'm about to toss this virtual mic and this stage all the way to Houston, Texas for you. Take the stage, Sheila Marie.
Hello, young people. How are you? I am so excited to be here. Thank you, Delana. Y'all, as y'all can see, I didn't do as very good of a background setup, but I'm in the car and I'm eliminating excuses, right? So I am Sheila M. King. I am the CEO, owner and founder of a nonprofit organization called Eliminating Excuses, where I am the accountability coach. I hold people to the goals that they set for themselves. Now, listen, I have enjoyed thoroughly all of this good stuff that everybody has spoken about. I promise you, I got all the good nuggets. So in the Heal Her journey, and I'm so glad that Delana put me last because I ain't want nobody looking at everybody else crazy or looking at me crazy. While I end this on how bad do you want it? That's where I'm coming from today. I wouldn't be me if I didn't bring a challenge to this healing journey. So, how bad do you want it? First, what I want you to do is to understand that there are going to be only 5 things that I'm going to talk about today, and I'm not going to drag it on because we've been on for a minute, but I want you to understand a few things in order to help you get to that place where you can be at your best in your healing journey, right? So the first thing I want you to do is understand that you need to get a divorce. A divorce, what you say? Listen, I know it sounds interesting, but I'm going to tell you what I mean. Understand that you need to divorce yourself from every negative conversation that you've had, every seed that was planted, every conversation you've had with yourself, everything that you said that was contrary to what God has said about you, everything that you have decided to come in agreement with and say, you know, from this day forward, I vow to be depressed every time I lose a job, or from this day forward, I'll never get what it is. It seems like if it's not one thing, it's another. Divorce yourself from those negative mindsets, those negative confessions, because what we speak and what we believe is what we will see. Understand that this is a stage, not a state. This is just a chapter in the book. This is just a process to get you to where you need to be. So understand in getting that divorce that this is just a stage in your life. This is not the state of your existence unless you make it that way. Also, some of y'all know how to date, but I need y'all to learn how to update, right? Get yourself in a position where you are constantly finding a way to increase and to be better for you first and for those that are connected to you. That's number 1. Get a divorce. Number 2, balance and boundaries. I always talk about this. I was so glad to hear about it before. Y'all talking about it before. Balance and boundaries. You need to, 1, understand in the balance piece if you need to dump it, delegate it, or do it. You need to either dump it, get rid of it, delegate it, give it to somebody else, because we got children. I'm a mother of 5 daughters. I have 5 daughters. I am a single mother with 5 daughters. You either have to dump it, delegate it, tell them children to do something, train them up. Don't be sitting out there as parents doing everything yourself and trying to figure out how I'm going to heal and how I'm going to work on me while I'm also trying to work with them. And I got to wash the dishes and I got to do the clothes. Now, of course, if your children are not able to wash the dishes, don't be having a 3-year-old in there trying, like, that's balance and boundaries now. But the other piece is, if you have children that are old enough, do not tell me as a single mother. My daughters, my youngest will be 9 in August, and then I have 14, 16, 18, and 20 years old. You don't have a choice in my home to an extent if all you're doing is living here. Yes, you got school, but you also have responsibilities. And not only by you assisting in this home will that help me out, but that'll also help you to develop the skills you'll need for when you get out of here. Dump it, delegate it, or do it. That's the balance. The boundaries piece is finding out what you need to do. If it's a physical boundary that you need to put in place, are there some people that you need to cut off? Are there some things that you need to say no to? Because we all know that no is a complete sentence. You don't have to give an explanation. I don't care if you've done it before. I don't care if you've never done it before. You can say no and it'll be okay. Everybody will live even if you don't show up for them this time. Okay? So that's a physical boundary. Or do you need to put mental or emotional boundaries in place? You know what? This person, this is, whenever I go into this room or whenever I do this thing, this makes me feel a negative emotion. So what boundaries do I need to place when I start seeing things manifest in a certain way? I need to start like, hold on, this is what I need to do to divert myself. So for me, as a single mother, I have dealt with divorce. I've been divorced twice. My second husband was a pedophile. We're not going to talk about that on this platform because we don't have enough time for that. And then I relocated to Houston with my 5 daughters by myself with nobody here, no family here. All my family is in Chicago because I'm from Chicago. And I made a decision because I knew how bad I wanted it. So understand that there's going to be some things that you're going to have to do in order to make sure, because it's your responsibility, right? Your response is your responsibility. And also you have to understand respect. Do you respect you? What does respecting you even look like? Because I can't tell you what disrespect could look like to you. I know what I don't agree with. I know what I don't come into agreement or want anyone doing as it relates to me, but you have to figure out what that is for you and then implement balance and boundaries according to that, not according to somebody else's definition of, oh, that he disrespected you or she disrespected you, or I wouldn't let my child do that if I was you. Well, you're not me, and I'm okay with it because we have balance in our home. Okay, that's all under number 2. Number 3, I always talk about this too, is difficult conversations. If you want to heal at your best, you have to have the conversations. We can't, I know some people say, you got to break away. Sometimes it does cause, sometimes you can't have that conversation, right? That's not majority of the time. And if you value the relationship enough to be hurt by it, then you should value the relationship enough to have the conversation. And then, on top of that, number 4 is be intentional. You have to be intentional about your healing. What exactly does your healing look like to you? All right, do you need to set aside some time each day, like intentionally from 12 to 12:30? I'm going to read this book because I know when I read this book, it gave me some nuggets I needed in order to help in my healing journey. So do you need to heal? Do you need to be intentional about the time you set aside? Do you need to be intentional about the time that you spend resting? Like at 12:30 p.m. for 35 minutes, all I'm doing is sitting here and meditating. All I'm doing, I'm going to pray at 6 a.m. Are you intentional about it? And being intentional not just means setting the time, but also doing the hard stop. I don't care what's going on. I set this time aside. I'm going to do it. That's it. When it's done, it's done. I'm moving on to the next thing, because then when you're intentional about your healing journey, you'll actually see the manifestation of it a lot quicker than when you allow people and other things to deter you and get you off track. And then number 5, listen, y'all, number 5, extend yourself some grace. Extend yourself grace. Listen, you won't always get it right. Sometimes even with all the steps that you set up, it's not going to work the way you want it to work. Sometimes out of all the best intentions, things will happen. Life will happen. Like she said, life gonna throw you some hands. But if you have a process in place and if you are intentional about what it is that you're going to do, I guarantee you when life happens, extend yourself some grace. It's okay. I won't always get it right. Let me tell you something. How bad do you want it? What I'm saying about that, and I want to be clear on this, I am not perfect. Y'all see, when I made a decision to come on this platform this morning, we all have other things going on, right? We all have life happening. But how prepared are you so that you can extend yourself grace, right? So for me, this morning looked like, I'm at a job fair here in Houston, helping out. And I knew that I had to be on here to speak at a certain time. But I also wanted to make sure that I was here the entire time. So let me tell you what I did. This job fair doesn't start till 11 o'clock. And I'm giving you all an example so that you all can possibly use it in your own home. What I did was I got up this morning at 7 a.m. our time. This started at 8 a.m. my time. I got up. I was intentional. I packed the car last night with all the stuff that I needed to have for today, to include my outfit, my top that I got to change into before I go in this place to help with that. All of this was done yesterday, but then I forgot some things today. But because everything else was packed yesterday, I was prepared, right, for anything that could happen. Then I'm sitting there like, hey, wait a minute. I can't be doing no live in a car, and I don't know if I can go in this facility and do there. So I pulled out my backdrop. This backdrop here is hanging behind. It's a board. Listen, but I knew one thing that was for sure, and extending myself grace and the power of how bad I want it, is if I'm going to show up, I'm going to show up as the best I can be. Now, this may not be the best for somebody else, but it's the best that I can be. I had stuff that they got to take inside. I took it out when my girl Angie was talking. I was like, what if I was about to call them something. I'm not gonna say that. What if these people decide to knock on this window? Like, where's our stuff? So while Angie was talking, I turned off my video and I took everything out the car, and it's sitting in front out there. So they can see it and take it in. Prepare yourself, because if you want it bad enough, if you want your healing bad enough, if you want the purpose to be fulfilled bad enough, then you are going to make sure that you are properly prepared with as much as you can do. And I'm going to say this last part. God will bless the work of your hands, right? We've been talking a lot about God and stuff, whatever your belief is. If you believe in the universe and all of that great stuff, it gives you what you put out, from what I'm hearing, right? So if you're not doing anything, what exactly can be multiplied or manifested from nothing? So that's all I got, sis. I could go further, but I'm not going to. I am grateful for the opportunity that you all came on. And that's my piece.
You ain't gonna just drop the virtual mic in your car or not, and not tell the people where they can find Sheila with Execute with MA. Come through before I even dive in. Okay, before me and Mahisa take back the reins, tell the people where they can find you, because I'm like over here writing down a whole bunch of stuff, and I already know where we can go with it.
Okay, so y'all can find me on Instagram, eliminating_excuses_the brand. And I'm excited. Yeah, that's the only place. Like, just follow me there. Contact me there. We good.
Listen, first of all, and Jonika over here doing the same thing I was getting ready to talk about. Jonika said, yes, come through. God will bless what? God will bless what them hands?
The work of your hands. The
hands. Yeah, the work of the hand. This is how all of this is coming. You talking about God will bless the work of the hands. Tawan Lowe talking about using the garden and getting the gloves with the hands and doing the work. All of this is coming full circle. And I promise you, I didn't tell any of these ladies what to talk about, only that they were coming on the Heal Her Summit and what our goal of this summit was and who we wanted to teach, touch, and reach. Okay. So all of you shared nuggets. Mahisa, come through, because you're back on my right-hand side. Come through.
All right. Come on now. All I'm going to say is, how's she gonna start off by saying get a divorce? Like, she came out making you like, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? Who am I divorcing? I just got married yesterday. I just got married last month. You ain't know what to do, okay? I've been married 10 years. I think he a good person. You ain't know what to do. And then she just came back and said, Sheila, you brought it. You had some people out there looking for the number. They didn't know if they was reaching Simone, if they were calling you, if they were calling Angela. I'm just saying. But I loved it. But you came and you talked about, us divorcing those things, really removing it. And then, we talked about divorce in here. And I'm so grateful for the vulnerability that we have to be real with our stories, from drowning and divorce and kids. And this is real life. And again, it's not for everybody, Delana. It's not for everybody, but it's for us. This is our purpose, is to be able to let somebody else know that you can do it. Come on now. Sheila got up, left, and hey, we ain't got time to tell that other story. Come on, kids. Let's get up. We got to roll up out of here. New life, new things, not just divorcing people, but divorcing those things. I'm so grateful, especially when she said, come on now. It's not a stage. I mean, it's a stage, not a state. Because we get into these places and it becomes our state of mind. We can go back to every speaker who talked about whether you have an affirmations, whether you're in the right circle. It is not a state. It's not a state of mind. It's not a place that you have to stay. You choose to stay. I'm sorry. It's okay if we stay for whatever reasons, but let's be honest with ourselves. Some days we like that cast. We like that cast, so we stay in this ugly place because we like people to say, oh, you got a cast on? Oh, girl, I can help you. Oh, we like that attention that comes from having that cast on. And we continue to stay in this ugly state of depression and anxiety because of the attention that it brings. But it's up to you to make the choice. And we said it. Angela said it. This thing don't happen overnight. We don't snap our fingers. And Jesus said he is a miracle maker and he can do it. Come on now. But We have to go through some things. We got to go through that overflow. We got to go through that drowning process in order for us to be able to use these stories for our purpose, to be able to impact. And Sheila, I think me and you somehow connected mentally or in another lifetime, because everyone knows that I always say your response is your responsibility. Can I go slap somebody? Absolutely I can. But what is it going? It is our responsibility on how we respond. And ladies, everyone up here, you chose to respond in a way. That didn't mean that immediately that response came, because Angela said it. Okay, Delana was getting the gloves. I had the Vaseline. I don't know what other piece y'all had, but we was coming to bring the business, okay? And I loved you for that, Angela, because that part is real. Nobody want to talk about when you going through that place and you really ready to put hands on somebody. Because we human. Nobody wants to talk. Well, I loved him, and I'm about to put some hands on Delana. What we doing? All right. But because Jelena's response might have helped your response, it's our responsibility, to be the best version of ourselves and those around us. And each one of you have responded not only to being here on this summit, but you responded to the call of your life, that we didn't stay drowning. We didn't stay in those ugly places, that we decided to choose us so that we can be the best version of ourselves for us and for everybody else around us. Come on. Who's healing?
Listen.
I'm healing.
I'm leaning in.
This is an everyday process for the rest of our life. I'm so grateful, because the healing that I'm getting right now, I wanted to stand up and shout, but times, look, I'm just saying.
I'm like, what in the world? Like, again, as I said before, all of the women that are here were purposed to be here. Right? Again, we all got busy lives. You heard Sheila talk about she putting a backdrop up with a board in the car. Now, if she didn't tell me that, I wouldn't know it. She pressed her way to come through. Rochelle, she on her way to her meeting this morning. She said, I can't be on for a long time. But I said, okay, I'm going to bump around the agenda. I'll put you first. I believe, you can set us with intention. And she did first thing this morning. Bless her for the nuggets that she dropped on her way to go drop and bless our single parents in the community, right? So again, I believe that her vision, her voice, her purpose, being in alignment to walk in to what we believe is necessary to heal her. Now, we're right at that mark. I bless all of you all that are joining us live. If you're just joining us, if you just joined throughout this last segment, I'm Delana Watkins, the Wellness Maven, my co-host, Mahisa Green, the Mental Motivator, and we are bringing you the Heal Her Summit. So as we wrap up, what I want to share outside of everything that has been shared, it's amazing when you are trying to wrap up a summit or anything that you do, and you don't even have to elaborate too much, because your speakers and your panelists are just like the bomb. And so they done already said what needed to be said, and you don't even have to do too much loop around, back, around. And then when I look at all the comments, because I'm over here moderating this thing and reading the comments, both on social media as well as our platform that's coming through the stream, and all of it is positive. All of it is saying how much of an impact us being here today, you showing up, being transparent, some of you revealing your truths and your traumas for the very first time, allowed you to show up and be present on this summit. Listen, I'm grateful. I am grateful. I am truly grateful. So I'm getting ready to shift around just a little bit. I don't want my panelists to go nowhere, because Mahisa and I just want to share real quick and let you guys know, don't go nowhere. Y'all in the green room right now, okay? Y'all in the green room. It's the virtual green room, but you in the green room, okay? All right, one more person. I'm going to put you in the green room. Don't go nowhere, Sheila. You in the green room, but it's a car. So now I have myself and Mahisa highlighted on the screen. I did a little shuffling around. And that's just because I want you guys to both not only see us in front of you, but to know that this is not the last time that you will see us together collaborating. This collaboration, this collision. Our sister Jonika is on here. She always talk about how collaboration is a new competition. Yes. And so we have, when I said owned that, we are setting the blueprint for what that looks like and what that means and how you actually can do that and for it to be okay. So You want to tell the people, you want me to tell the people that this isn't the last time that this whole Heal Her voice, her purpose, and for what it is that we're about to like bring to them in the next phase of what it is we want to do.
I'm just gonna give a little bit, but I gotta let you give it to them because we on the Heal Her Summit. But I'm just saying that this, you said it, this is what it's all about. That it's no need when we doing things on our own, when we can be a force together. And like you said, we got sisters out here who've been saying it. Y'all need to connect. Y'all need to connect. And I'm so grateful that we did it without fear. It took a phone call, and the phone call happened in 2.5 seconds. And I didn't know what, it's a yes. It's a yes. And that was it. And so this is the beginning to changing lives and impacting women on a whole nother level. Sis, give them the goods.
All right, I'm gonna give them the goods. I'm gonna give them the goods. I'm gonna take back the virtual stage and give them the goods. Ooh. So, like she said, it took a phone call. She had her summit, the Her Voice, Her Purpose Summit, and there was a vision for me that aligned with my annual Heal Her Summit. Made a phone call. We sent the email, made a phone call. We got on the phone, made it happen. Like she said, in 2.5 seconds, we pulled this together. Okay, come on over here. I want you on my platform as my co-host for this Heal Her Summit. The vision of us combining what it is that we want to do for women, for people out in the universe, right? Beyond that comes together when two forces become synergized together. So we will be not only having hopefully a live type of like workshop type session, but we also want to let you all know that as we work on behind the scenes of doing a book anthology where you can become a contributing author and expound upon the stories that you just shared, or if you are watching us live, listening to us on the podcast, and you feel as though something that you heard is going to allow you to share that story of yours, where that nugget was dropped and that piece of what we shared is opening up. Tawan talked about gardening, those weeds and those blooms. If something that you want to pull up some weeds and you want to have a platform to share it on, this is it. The Heal Her Summit, you sharing your story, sharing what it is that you've experienced will be the platform in which you can do that in such a great way. My good friend Tawan is on here, her publishing company. She has the TLC Publishing. All of my works, the whole She Is Well anthology, you guys can see that behind me, the She Is Well. Tawan gets my vision, and it's not about being out there and kind of just, putting things in the universe, go out and download, make me bestseller. No, my books are impactful. Women who are at the sound of my voice, who are watching me on the screen, and all of the amazing panelists and speakers that came before me, those are the women that I like to get in the trenches with, so that I know that when they see, read, hear, and relate to your story, they're being moved, they're being impacted, they're making a decision, they are owning their decisions, they are being responsible for their responses, all of it. Okay, so that's what we're here for. So Mahisa, here we go, that virtual high five, touch and agree that this is what we are about to do. And so I'm gonna bring back on the rest of my speakers. We're gonna close out. And I want to thank you all for being here and being a part of what it is that we came before you on a Saturday, no less, to do. So, yep, I think I got everybody back on screen. Nope, where my T low. There she goes. All right. All right, ladies. So I'm just going to go around where I see you on my screen. Give us 2 seconds of a closeout and your final thoughts, and we will be done with the Heal Her Summit. All right. Up on my screen, I have Miss Simone Adams hailing from the DMV by way of Brooklyn, New York. All right, Simone, give me a couple seconds of a closeout. Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that, ladies. So I just want to, end off by saying, no matter what you go through, it is just a phase. It is a small period in your life. You will get through it. We got to go through these seasons. It builds character. It makes you stronger. The Simone I was 5 years ago, I don't even know her anymore. Now I show up I'm positive. I feel good. And I'm honestly giving you my best me. Now, with that being said, never put yourself in the back seat. Always make sure you put yourself first. You got to be great. I know I got to stand up and be good for these kids morning, noon, and night. I got to be on point at my job. I'm in management at my job. I got to be on point morning, noon, and night. I love y'all. Thank y'all for this platform. Put yourself first. Again, pray and don't worry. And if you worry, don't pray. Love y'all.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you. And again, Sheila Marie, I'm going to bring you back on the virtual stage because I know you got to go. You got other things to do in Houston. You got other places to be in Houston. Listen, come through, Sheila Marie.
Hello. So my final thought is not really a thought, but it's a prayer. I pray that every person listening to this, whether it be male or female, find their true value. I pray that you understand that you are greater than what it is that you are facing. I pray that you receive the strength and the wisdom and the guidance to be able to push through another day so that you can see that there is greater on the other side of this. I pray that you have the resources and the mindset and the connections that will propel you to the next generation, to the next step in your life, to the next elevation that God has purposed for you. I pray that you have the strength to be able to go through this with grace. And I pray that after today, that in this day, that you understand the opposition will come, but you are created to be able to impact this nation, not just those that are connected to you, but others, because you have a story. And as long as you are here, there is purpose to be fulfilled. And I pray that God's grace maintain and stay on you as you continue to go throughout this journey. Be blessed. Your response is always your responsibility.
Sheila, should I say Lady Sheila? Yes, Sheila. First Lady Sheila, come through. Yes, Sheila. Thank you for that amazing prayer. I appreciate you, and those final words were just outstanding, just like all of you in your presentation. Next on my screen, I have my Naomi, Miss Angela Sanders. Just give us some final words as we close out.
My final word is I want to give the meaning of butterflies. Butterflies are a metaphor and they represent spiritual rebirth, transformation, change, hope, and life. They have a magnificent yet short life of a butterfly. It closely mirrors the process of spiritual transformation and serves to remind us that life is short. So when I say fly beyond the hurt, the longer you stay there, the shorter you get to enjoy what God has for you beyond the hurt. So going from the cocoon to being a butterfly is the best thing you can ever do to get past any type of trauma, because it's going to bring you fruit for the labor, the mental labor that you had to go through. So that's my word. I'm Miss Health Concierge, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. You ladies have a great day. I love you all.
A lot of love up ahead. Thank you. Absolutely. Fly beyond the hurt. Listen, get out that cocoon sometimes to try to butterfly. Yes. Appreciate you. Yes. All right. Next on my screen, I have Miss Lakeisha McGaney. Oh, say, come through with the overflow. Give me some final closeout, Lakeisha.
This has been amazing. And I love that Delana actually always knows how to say my name. Seriously. But what I want to leave you all with, again, I want the overflow to literally drench you, rain on you. This is your season of suddenly. So get ready for the overflow. It's an unknown quote, but when I tell you this is your season of suddenly, you just saw it happen. They just announced a collaboration from a 2-second phone call. Get ready for the overflow. I'm just going to remind you to flow, be free, lavish, own those decisions, and wrap yourself in wellness. And if you're ready to share your stories of how you have flourished in your overflow, you can contact me at hello@joyisjustoveryonder. Be blessed.
Amazing. I like that season of suddenly, that SOS.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that. Thank you. Yes. And Lakeisha, I do know how to say your name, even though I do be adding an extra I in there sometimes, but it's okay. I can say it right. Sometimes I put the extra I in there, but it's all right. So thank you for that closeout. And for the last person, and it just happened this way, it wasn't in backwards order, just the way I see you on my screen. It is Tawan Lowe. I appreciate you, TLCT Lowe. Let's close this out, Tawan. Unmute you though, because you know what you're saying is the good stuff.
Lord have mercy. Help me. First, I want to say to both the hosts, y'all, this has been absolutely awesome. So I'm going to just ask one thing, that when you have the next one, I think it should be a week-long Heal Her Summit. And as your accountability,
Okay.
and you know what, we're going to talk about that. But that's not what you asked me to do right now. So I'm going to be obedient. Remember, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am talking about this time some tender, loving care. I told you, life will life you. It's going to throw its hands up and it's going to fight you with all it has. But I'm here to tell you, when you take 100% responsibility for who you are, you know to put your dukes up, get ready to fight, because you deserve to fight for yourself. You are worthy of saving you, because you have something this world needs and we want to get it from you. And the only way we're going to get it is if you're willing to fight for who you were meant to be. Thank you all. And you can follow me anywhere on Facebook. All you got to look for is TLC, TL Consultancy. Thank you, ladies.
Woo! Yes, and yes, absolutely. Did you hear that though? She had to throw that in there. Mahisa talking about the next time we do it's got to be a week long. Okay, it ain't nothing but a thing. I actually like that.
Yes, we claiming it.
It
We
is
claiming it.
on. You already spoke it out there, and Delana, no, when somebody puts something out there, we're gonna make it happen. I love you, ladies. Yes, T.
Yes, I love it, love it, love it. So again, that is our final closeout. I truly appreciate you all again moving with me this morning. They tried to move the cheese, y'all. They tried to move the cheese around, but guess what? They didn't know who they was fooling with, right? Like, listen, they tried to move it around. We did what we needed to do and pivoted in the moment. Delayed us just a few, but all of this greatness and all of this goodness was meant and worthy to be out there. So I appreciate you all pivoting with me at the 11th hour to show up, to glow up, and to be great. So again, I am Delana Watkins. Most of you are probably already following me on social media. Make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe, and like our Women's Wellness Lounge YouTube, as we're growing over on that platform as well. You can follow me there, womenswellnesslounge.org. We are always looking for time, talent, and treasure. So go there and see if any of those programs that we offer relates to you or something that you or your organization can utilize, and we will make it happen. You heard me and Mahisa say it took us 2.5 seconds to make this happen. When we're determined, we won't be deterred. So therefore, thank you guys. I'm going to end this stream. It's going to close out with my amazing commercial. Sheila, go be great. Do what you do. Simone, you look amazing. Angie, you in Alabama, do your thing for the weekend. Lakeisha, I appreciate you sticking in there. And Tawan, Tilo, you as well. So I appreciate you guys.
Mwah. Love you, ladies.
Yes.
Weekend. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to close out, but you guys can stay on for a few at the end if you want. For a second.
Okay.